Judges chapter 11, 1 to 31. This morning I want to talk to you on the topic of the Jephthah Syndrome. Now we know the story that Jephthah was a judge of Israel, and his mother was a harlot, and all his brethren was from his father's wife, and so because of this they rejected Jephthah. His brethren rejected him because he was a prostitute's child. And so Jephthah grew up with rejection and he fled from his brethren. And so it was that many years after, the brethren were in trouble. They sought after Jephthah to come and help them to fight in a battle. By this time, Jephthah was now a mighty man of war, and so his pride got into his way. And when they asked him, "Can you come and fight for us, and we'll make you to be the captain?" He said within his heart, he started to remember all of the hurts and the pain that the brethren did to him. And so he said to them, "Well, don't you remember that you rejected me?" And he started to bargain with them, and he started to say to them, "Well, if I fight in this battle for you, what would you do for me?" So right there and then, Jephthah totally forgot that he was a servant of God. He was now looking earthly possession, because he was saying, if I fight for you as you request, what would you do? What would you do to me? So they said, "Okay, we will make you our head. We will make you our captain." Immediately, Jephthah went on to ask God and started to bargain with God also and say, "Well, God, I want to fight this battle, but I'm asking you, please, could you help me to fight and win, so that anything that comes out of my house when I go home, it is yours. I'm going to sacrifice to you if you will just let me win this battle." What was going on in Jephthah, what was really happening in Jephthah's life now, is that he was at a place where he was hurt, like many of us. He was going through rejection all his life. And then all of a sudden, the same people who hurt him and rejected him wanted him to do a favor. And like many of us, you can imagine your enemy come to you for help, and you want to show them that you're a better person now, and the pride starts to go into your head. And that's what happened to Jephthah. He started being puffed up with pride, and so he made a rational vow and said, anything that come out of his house, when you go back home, once you win this battle, it will be unto God. And so this morning I want to say to you, if you find yourself with that Jephthah syndrome, where with someone hurt you and you're in the position now to hurt them, you're in the position to look down and laugh at them, you're in the position to say, "Hey, I can kick you now in the back, because look, I'm ahead of you. I'm ahead of you now, and I'm on the top of the ladder looking down. Remember when you did this to me." I want you to take a stand and remember whose you are. At the end of the day, Jephthah sacrificed his only child, because he made a vow to God that he had to fulfill. And it was all because of pride. All because he wanted to prove to these people who hurt him, "I'm not the same anymore. I'm not the same anymore. You rejected me because my mother was a prostitute, but I am better than you now, and I'm not the same anymore." So he wanted to prove to them that he was better than them. Little did Jephthah know that God has already chosen him for a judge. God has chosen him to be a mighty man of valor. He didn't need to prove to these men anymore. You may have been rejected from a child, and your siblings see you as nothing, the little nobody. And right now, God has blessed you into a better job. Your siblings are looking to you in America, wherever you are, in England, and asking you for favor now. Asking you for money, asking you to help them to pay some bills. And you're saying, "But look how they used to treat me when I was a child." Listen, you don't have to remind them anymore. God has placed you into the position to be the head. You don't need to go back and be revengeful to those who hurt you. Don't pick up the Jephthah syndrome. Don't let pride get into your heart. You are in a better position right now if you're listening to this message. You don't have to prove to man that God has chosen you, that God has blessed you. Don't be like Jephthah. He sold out his one daughter because of his own pride. He killed her. He sacrificed her. God was not pleased with that sacrifice. But even his very daughter said, you made a sacrifice. You made a vow unto God. God did his part. You need to do your part. This morning I want to say to you, don't put yourself down. Don't dishonor God by trying to get even with those who treated you bad in the past. Don't pick up the Jephthah syndrome now. Trust God and live. Trust God and bless those who curse. That's what the word of God says to do. And God will even lift you higher. God bless you this morning.